Hey guys, welcome back to the Power Femme podcast. This is technically like a new season. I think this is technically season 3 is what we're going to call it. I am so excited. I'm in my brand new podcast studio, and today I have the most incredible, the most special guest. Ladies, if you've been here since day one when we were Hustle and Flow, then you're going to be absolutely blown away. Today we have the one, the only Kesley Bou. She is a singer, songwriter, my dearest friend, and the original Hustle and Flow co-host of our podcast. So we're going to dive in today. We have such a good conversation. We catch up on life. It's just too good. Let's get into it.
You're listening to Power Femme Radio. This is a podcast where ladies come together and try to share their opinions and empower each other to be better women in society.
Did he just say try? You're listening to Power Femme, where women don't try, we do. Hey babe, listen. Today, I've got a little secret to share with you. I'm going to give you something that has been monu-freaking-mental in me manifesting my wildest dreams. You know, the ones that keep you up at night. I'm about to spill all the beans on how to actually make them a reality. I'm talking about vision boards. Listen, I know we've all heard this before, but vision boards are literally the key to bringing your visions into reality. I'm telling you, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. I've used vision boards for years, and I've used mine to manifest cars, money, acting jobs, my fiance, the home I'm currently living in, and literally like so much more. So if you want to manifest the things that you want more than anything in life, then you've got to stop sleeping on vision boards. So here's what I'm going to do for you. Since you're a Power Femme listener, I feel like we're friends, and real friends do not gatekeep. So I'm going to give you a free vision board template. In fact, it's the exact same template that I've used to manifest my dreams for years. You want to know why vision boards are such a game changer? Because seeing your dreams every day right in front of you changes everything. It's literally like a magnet for all of the incredible things that you desire. No more waiting, wishing, or wondering if you'll ever reach your goals. Click the link in the show notes to get your free vision board template today. Vision boards are literally the secret sauce, and I actually had mine printed out and put in my bathroom so that I can look at my goals every single morning while I get ready. My clients have used this exact same vision board template to manifest relationships, land dream jobs, make money, and literally so much more. So I can't even begin to tell you all of the amazing things that have come from vision boards, so I can't wait for you to experience this too. Let's make our dreams come true together, and let's do it in record time. Click the link in the show notes to get your free vision board template today. Don't wait, because what you want wants you even more. I love you. Let's get into the show.
Kesley, welcome to the Power Femme podcast.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like most of the people who are listening to this podcast, they know who you are.
There's probably a good bit.
There is a good bit. The original OGs. Hustle and Flow. What's up? Before we were Power Femme, we were Hustle and Flow podcast. I was Hustle, you were Flow.
Totally.
Or I don't know. Maybe I was Flow and you were Hustle. It depended on the day.
I really feel like you were, you know what?
It
depended on the day.
It depended on the day.
Which is why we made such a good team.
I know. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I just think this is going to be a really good episode because I'm sure so many people are wondering, like, where did you go and what happened? And, like, what? Are you okay?
Are you okay?
So much happened.
No, I'm not okay.
Are you okay right now?
Yes, but
were
no,
you okay?
You know what I mean? I'm
yeah.
like I'm in that place where I'm like, oh, I can finally be like, no, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Literally, if I'm not feeling okay and somebody asks me like, oh yeah, how do you feel about this? How is this going? I'm like, I'm not okay. Like, I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and be like,
yeah,
I'm fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so nice. It's so
That's
freeing.
good. Okay. So did you always feel like it was okay for you to say, I'm not okay? You know, like when you were going through things, which we're going to have to like really talk about, obviously. Right?
Yeah.
So let's rewind it just a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
Power Femme came out like maybe almost 2 years ago now.
Power Femme podcast?
Yeah, it's 2024. So yeah, we're like right at the 2-year mark. And guys, we're literally inside of my brand new podcast studio. First episode of the new season with my OG Kesley Bou. We've got Brogan producing, and my electrician is at the house. So if you hear stomping, it's because my new podcast studio is in the house that I manifested.
Let's go.
And before we were Power Femme, the Power Femme podcast, we were Hustle and Float.
We were in LA.
No, were we in LA?
We were in LA, staying at your friend's house. I was here with my ex-husband, and shit was hitting the fan.
Wait, I don't remember being in LA.
I am gonna... Okay, well, here's the story.
Okay,
Ready?
yes.
I was having a hard time, and you were in town, too. I stayed with you a night, and then you were talking about a podcast, and I was like, well, I would know how to, like, edit that, and, like, we started brainstorming the branding and the name and stuff.
Yeah, but isn't that crazy that, like, it was not that long ago, but it feels like actually it was a whole lifetime ago.
It was, like, 2 lifetimes ago to me.
Where were you at with your relationship when we started this podcast with your husband?
It was very rocky, probably, but I was very oblivious. I was oblivious to so much. Like, you were a huge figure in my life for, like, bringing me into a more conscious state.
Wow,
than
really?
where I was at. Totally. And I was just thought, you know, marriage is hard.
Yeah.
And everything we're dealing with is normal stuff that every regular, healthy, or Christian couple goes through. Like, I was completely oblivious to, like, how much more than that it was.
Yeah.
There were just good days and bad days, and I was trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware, like...
It's so crazy to think that, like, we came together with the cutest little intention of starting a show, and then it feels like everything crashed and burned.
Oh, yeah. I was leading worship, married, in a basement-level apartment with roommates.
Yeah.
You remember that apartment.
Of course. Yeah, you guys were literally... It
really
felt like a
good.
basement floor. You had how many roommates?
It was a 3-bedroom. So we had 2 other roommates, and one of our roommates had the master. We didn't even have the master because we couldn't afford it.
Wow.
The 2 of us.
And how much was your rent?
I remember maybe paying like $400. Oh my God. It might have been $400 between the 2 of us, or $600 between the 2. Like, it was
Cheap.
like, we're splitting a 3-bedroom basement level apartment in Atlanta between 3 rooms, and then ours in half. So yeah, it had to only be a couple $100.
Holy cow, Kesley.
Yeah.
And you guys were struggling at that point.
Totally.
But, like, you weren't even aware that you were struggling.
No.
So you were just kind of like, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yes,
This
like...
is how my life is. So how did I ruin that? Oh, no.
Oh, my God. You ruined it. No, it was good. Like, I wasn't confident. I wasn't, like, an independent, like, woman. Like, lots of things had to happen for me to even get there. But, like, I don't know. Like, doing our own stuff. We talked about a lot, you and I. You led me through, like, my first meditations, first breath work ever. Like, even us just going to the gym.
Yeah.
It's, like, so many things brought me out of, like, my shell and the norm. You taught me so much. Yeah, lots of, like, really awesome, like, more esoteric kind of, like, thought processes and beliefs, and, like, just helping me get more in touch with, like, myself and, like, break through some of the box that I'd kind of put my mind in. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So when you started to, like, oh, my phone is not on Do Not Disturb. Sorry, guys. Listen.
I had to call her like 7 times to try to get in her house because her phone was on Do Not Disturb.
I live on Do Not Disturb. Oops. I really do. Like, just so you know, if you have my phone number and you tried to call me and it didn't answer, it's because I didn't know.
Nope.
I cannot be disturbed.
No, cannot.
Simply cannot be disturbed.
Simply cannot.
So I think it's interesting because when we met, I had this perception. I was like, wow, yeah, it's this Christian couple, the Table for 2 band. Like,
right.
You know, they're so cool and everything. So it's like, I actually didn't even realize that you guys were kind of struggling in any type of way. And I think it's also fascinating that as soon as you see somebody who's like uplifting you and they're showing you new things and you're like, oh, wow, I'm going to start to do all these things that are better for myself and good for myself. It's interesting that it caused so much friction in your life.
Yeah. I mean, well, there was going to be friction no matter what. And I'm not saying that you didn't do anything.
Right.
But like, there was going to be every little area like of our relationship and stuff started to get like fucked with, basically.
Yeah. So long story short, like we're gonna catch everybody up here. Basically, you ended up getting divorced.
Totally.
And you are from a very Christian background, so you went through this divorce. Mm-hmm. Did you ever see that for yourself?
No, because I grew up in the kind of like culture that is like divorce is not an option. So once you guys decide that divorce is not an option, you can work through anything. And I think there's something super beautiful when you're working with two pretty healthy human beings that are coming together. It's like, yeah, that can work. If you're like, no matter what, like we're in this together, like you're gonna totally accomplish and overcome more hard challenges if you're like mentally and emotionally committed to it, like no matter what. And I think that's really beautiful. But then there's another side to it of like, well, if your partner like physically, mentally, emotionally like cannot even meet you halfway, how long are you supposed to like kill yourself over that?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to win no matter what. It takes two people. So I grew up in that. That's what made it confusing for me, is because I'm being told this one thing that means that you're a good Christian if you stay there. You're a good wife if you sacrifice all the time and like you don't put yourself first, and like you're supposed to do that, and eventually like your partner will do it for you. And as long as divorce isn't an option, like so that's what made it confusing, because there was a lot going on that like I wasn't equipped to deal with and handle and didn't know how to help. And he wasn't either. And then our entire lives were in this like Southern Baptist strict religion culture where there wasn't a lot of like, oh, well, I know a therapist, maybe you should try, or, it's just like there weren't a lot of resources outside of, well, as long as you guys are going to church every Sunday and you're praying and God will fix it.
Were you doing those things?
Less and less.
Yeah.
I was, because that's what was paying my bills, was like leading worship. Which that also got confusing, because then we were kind of both doing that together and we're struggling. We're supposed to be role models and like leading Christian kids and families and stuff. And it's also like we can't like leave this job because we can't even afford this $400 a month bedroom.
Yeah.
So then you're just in this cycle of like, well, we have to keep like putting on the face in the show. And we were trying to do our little band together. We were trying to do social media together, trying to do all this stuff together. And it got weird.
Was it that you guys were doing it together that was an issue?
I think there legitimately were like, I think my ex thought that like to kind of get me to fall in love with him or something is like if he kind of presented this whole idea of like lifting me up and like helping me out and like us doing things together, and then couldn't keep that up and started like being more jealous of me, and then like we just started having all of these it just flipped at some point, and I was still holding on to like, no, we're doing this like together. Like that's kind of what got me to, that was what our relationship was doing this stuff together, was creating together and being a couple, writing music together, posting. And then that all started to go away because he didn't like it anymore. And my poor little innocent like heart that was like so in love and was like, this is going to be the rest of our lives. Like we're going to be YouTube influencers and like make music together and do everything, was like still holding on to that so firmly that I was willing to like go so far and like forget about myself in order to like keep that dream alive.
Wow. And what happened when you allowed yourself to kind of forget about yourself, or forced yourself to forget about yourself?
I mean, that's when I like really had a hard, we have footage, I feel like.
Yeah.
My face is just like totally broken out. Yeah. I didn't know how I felt all the time. Like I'd have these little panic attacks and stuff, but I didn't know like how Kesley was feeling.
Wow.
I was always projecting and like feeling things from other people, and was just very not in tune. I was very bloated and I was breaking out probably like really skinny and just like really didn't know who I was. Wow. I guess
it's so crazy for me to think back to us at that time because we were still so sure of where we wanted to go.
Right.
It was like, you're telling me that you weren't sure of who you were.
I see it now that I'm looking back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What would you say to her now, like with you being where you are now? Because I want to talk about where we are now. You've done so much incredible stuff. Like, oh my God. So what would you say to her now?
You really can't rush the process.
Yeah.
It's kind of like live life and go through the lesson and like whatever's going to make it stick. Like just, you can't rush it.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly really proud of her because she really was thrown into a situation that she was not bred for and didn't like mess around too long.
Yeah.
And it was a hard decision for her to be like, no, I'm leaving this. I'm getting out of this. After holding on for so long through some stuff that should have totally been last straw.
Yeah.
And so honestly, I'm proud of her, but I would tell her like, at least tell her like, it's going to be okay. Like you're going to get to a place very soon where you are like, holy shit, I'm on the other side of this mess and I'm getting the things and becoming the person that I know I like want and who I am and stuff. So yeah.
That's so good. I want to ask you about these lyrics really quickly because they're so good. Guys, I'm obsessed with Kesley Bou. Like, I am literally your number one fan. You guys have to go on Spotify right now. Can you subscribe to artists?
You can follow.
Follow Kesley. Like, stop what you're doing. Stop the podcast episode. Just go and binge all of her music. All of the new music that you've put out since the divorce and everything is just so beautiful. The heartbreak music, but also just this like punk rock, like fully embodied, using your voice. Like, I don't give a F what anybody says. Like, you're using curse words in your music. It's so awesome. But there's a song that is called Maybe I Should Be Sadder. Mm-hmm. And I want to know so much about this, but I'm just going to read some of the lyrics and ask you kind of what they are. Maybe I should be sadder. Guilty, why don't I feel more guilty? I miss that you're not with me, but love shouldn't be so suffocating. Dreaming, you used to be my dream, and stuck in a diamond ring, never growing up, never growing old, leaving our story untold. And then there's a bridge, and this is where I've got questions. We were alive when we were dumb and drunk on love. Now we are older and sober and all fucked up. I ask you to just get up and go get a job. You couldn't handle that. How was I supposed to act? What does all of this mean to you?
Okay. Nice.
What I love about the song is like, I should be sadder. Mm-hmm. But you're not. Like, you're very unapologetic in the song. Right. And that lyric of like, it's at the end of the song and you're like, I asked you to go get a job. What was I supposed to do? And me knowing, and now everybody listening to this knowing like the financial situation, you could barely afford like this apartment, but you have these huge dreams and this huge purpose in your life and you're not happy and like it's suffocating, as you said. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just kind of curious what it means for you to be in a place of, yeah, I should be sadder, but I'm not.
That's what is so interesting now, being like, I wrote the song at least 2 years ago at this point. And I was very numb. But also, I was in such a bad spot that, like, where I was, even though looking back and at the time, too, like, I knew I was numb. Like, I was way too recklessly excited about life. And I felt really free, but I knew that there were like deep wounds. I'm like, surely there's like a bunch of shit that's going to come out, but I just didn't know and I couldn't feel it. So the song is like, maybe I should be sad or maybe I should be mad, because I wasn't just like crying every day over my divorce and some really up stuff that happened. Yeah. Like, I was chasing boys and I was going out and I was drinking and it was like doing things I had not ever done and having the best time. But also like, I knew like, I think I'm just really fucked up right now. Like, I don't think there's no way I'm just over it. So it was a weird time and I didn't know how to write about it besides maybe I should be sadder. Maybe I should be madder, like screaming, like, I'm not sleeping. Like, how am I just okay? There's no way.
Right.
But I didn't know, like, how to get it.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm so proud of you because you have such, like, a beautiful gift with being able to write about your feelings and portray it in a song. I think it's amazing. Do you feel like you've been able to really process your feelings through any of that?
Totally. I think writing has helped me process feelings, and I journal a lot as well. So any sort of like verbal or like just writing feelings down has helped.
Yeah.
And when you're writing a song, you can't just be unconsciously doing the activity. Like, you have to be thinking, at least I do. It's like, what am I trying to say? How do I feel about it? Because if I have a feeling about what I'm trying to say, like, the words and the lyrics will come more naturally if I know. So then you're diving deeper on one topic or one feeling than you would be on just like an average day, basically. So it does help.
I love who you've become through all of this and the different versions that you've created. And if you listen to Kesley's music, you guys, it's like you really do kind of see just like these different kind of personalities. What was it like for you getting to start fresh on your life?
Amazing. It was amazing. It is still amazing. And I feel like I can literally start over whenever I want to. And I can keep doing that and reinventing like as many times as possible. But finally going out on my own and not being like living with my parents and then living with a man that I'm married to. It's like I got to move to a new city where nobody knew who I was. I got to move with one of my best friends. I got to just like live. Like, I didn't go away to college and do like anything. I was living at home.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I knew that maybe.
Yeah. And I also chose to. I was like, no, I just want to be involved in my local church and I don't want to do a bunch of college stuff. Like, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to have sex. Like, I'm waiting to get married and like all of that.
I'm not going to drink and I'm not going to have sex. I'm waiting to get married.
Literally, that's me. That was me. That's all that was. I was like, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make good grades. I'm going to graduate. I don't know.
It's almost like you didn't have a mind of your own yet.
I didn't. So I got to like, that's such a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a mind of my own. And you're kind of one of the more first like people who started to help me like have one. You'd be like, Kesley, what do you want? Where do you see yourself in the next year? Like, you helped me manifest so much and start on that process. And now I do it all the time. I literally use things and refer back to moments with you that I take into my like meditation and like manifestation practices now.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love
life
that.
changing.
That makes me so happy. Oh my God.
It's really important to have a mind of your own. Everyone needs to have a mind of their own.
Yeah.
And I think women in general, usually like that's taken from them. Like
100%.
First and the most, it's like so easy, I feel like.
Yeah.
To just lose it and just self-erase into whoever's taking care of you or like.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
You're so right, Kesley. I feel, and I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day, like, whose voice do you hear before you ever even hear your own?
Mine is like, it used to be my mom for sure. Sometimes it still can be. So a parent.
Yeah. A parent.
I think a parent.
But
for
like
everyone.
when you're a baby, you literally can't even talk yet.
No.
You just listen. You just observe.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people can get down on themselves when they realize they're like, oh, I haven't been using a mind of my own. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's totally normal for you to like have that identity shift. Like there comes a point where you start to be like, dude, I'm in this real world. I'm in this marriage. I'm the one who's going to bed at night wondering if I'm going to reach my dreams. And like your whatever belief systems that I've subscribed to, it's like, am I really willing to die on this hill? Like, can I maybe let some of that go and open myself up and be a sponge to the world around me and see what else is out there? And so I think it's totally normal that it was like your mom, for sure. Me too. My
Yeah.
mom, like that's the number one voice that comes in is Diane. I'm like, okay, that's not me, like at all.
Literally. So interesting. But that's what we all, like, our parents raise us. Like, it's whoever, like, raised us. Like, we're going to, like, absorb all of those things. And so that's totally normal. But we all have, like, that moment in life where it's like, okay, you have to become an independent person with your own thoughts. And not everybody does. Like, a lot of people, that's what you see with, like, these small towns where, like, everyone is born and raised and no one ever leaves. And, like, I grew up in a lot of those, like, at least 2 different kind of small town situations. And it's like, oh my goodness, like, somebody else's grandma's, like, watching my every move because they know my mom and my grandparents. And, like, it's weird. It's really hard in those situations to break away and, like, have your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Because you've got all these people, like, they feel like they're entitled to.
What was the reaction that you got when you started to develop your own voice and use it?
I had, like, really awkward DMs and, like, a lot of people unfollowed me. My mom unfollowed me. She just started following me back.
Wow.
Yeah, we've, like, worked through so much. I'm so grateful.
Wow.
But yeah, that
your
kind of
own
thing.
mom, like, unfollowed you. So, like, was that was a hard time?
Yes. I, like, lost it. Oh, yeah.
Oh
There was
my
a
God.
good year there. I was just, like, really confused.
Tell us about that year.
It was crazy. I was just angry. I got angry, finally, but also, like, just did not care. Like, I wanted to piss people off. Like, I did not care. And I also, that's kind of like when I wrote Orange Juice. Like, it's louder, it's faster, it's not, there's no emotional depth. Like, Roll Like Thunder maybe has some deeper lyrics, and I just didn't care. I cut my hair.
Oh, we have to talk about it.
I cut my hair. I dyed it. I bleached it.
Yeah.
And had half orange hair, which was awesome. And then I had, like, a mullet. I had a pink mullet a year ago.
You guys, Kesley came to my house today and I saw her and my jaw dropped because I was like, you're absolutely stunning. And I didn't expect you to have brown hair. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure. You know, a lot of us were seeing Kesley. She cut her hair off. She dyed it. You know, I cut my hair off once.
Yep.
And it was literally the most liberating thing. So when I saw you going through it, I wasn't worried. I just so you know, like, me seeing you kind of go through this whole evolution as also like a business partner in a sense, because we had this like thing kind of going. Like, there were moments when you were going through it where I was like, should I be worried? Not gonna be worried, you know? But, like, I kind of just was like, here she goes. And I was like, I was loving watching it, and, like, mad respect for cutting your hair. I know for me it was the most liberating thing.
Good to do.
So freeing. Everyone should go cut their hair.
Go cut your hair. This is your sign.
So take me to the day that and the moment you decided you were gonna cut your hair. Hello, Power Femmes. Welcome back to another episode of the Power Femme podcast. This is exactly where you need to be. I'm so grateful that you came here for a moment of inspiration. If you are someone with big dreams or a burning passion to make a difference in the world, and you feel so much enthusiasm about all the ways that you want to chase your dreams and live your dream life, but for whatever reason, your passion just isn't translating into the work that you're doing every single day, I just want to tell you, you're not alone, and it's not crazy for you to have that big dream that keeps you up at night. You are so in the right place, okay? And there is a solution, and it is called the Unshakable Confidence Challenge, hosted by Power Femme. This is a 5-day challenge that I'm hosting, and it is designed to unlock inspiration, ignite momentum, and really get you results like you've never gotten before. So I'm going to play a couple of clips of what people have said about the challenge, and if it sounds like it's a good fit for you, then I cannot recommend enough clicking below in the show notes. Click the link and join the next one, okay? The VIP room is where you're going to have an hour of coaching before the 5-day challenge itself, and that is honestly where a lot of magic and breakthroughs happen. So click below, check it out. see if it's a good fit, and join me live. I can't wait to see you.
Heidi's 5-day challenge ended today, and I'm so sad. I'm like shocked at how different I feel in 5 days. Y'all,
this week was so good. I walked away with so much. I'm just like still very reflective on everything, but motivated.
I feel like a whole weight has lifted off my shoulders. I am smiling from ear to ear, and I am just so excited about this new chapter of my life. Not living a purposeful life is just killing me. I got so much value out of this week, and I'm just ready to continue that progress. Also, oh my God, these women are so inspiring. I'm so, I'm so amazed by these girls just going for it. I love this group. I love it, love it, love it.
That was such a sweet week for me and so good for me, and I absolutely loved it, and I loved my time. Girl, it was fire, and I loved it, and I learned so much, and I'm so grateful.
I truly believe now that I can create my own reality.
I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be in a relationship that's healthy and loving.
I've just been able to conquer a lot of things that I never thought I could before, and in fact said I can't.
I had so many aha moments. Everything that I learned, I am applying, and my life has changed. I would do it again.
For the chop, like the first time I cut it.
Yeah. What's the shortest it's ever been?
The mullet, because it was short.
It was like an inch on the sides. And
yes.
Then how long was like the mullet part?
That was probably like above the shoulder. I have some really interesting photos. It was probably around there, yeah.
Okay.
But this was so short for me.
Yeah. So take me to the first chop, and then we'll get to the second chop.
I had been chasing boys as a 20, so was I 25, 26, 26?
How old are you now?
28. This is not
Saturn
that long
return.
ago.
Are you in your Saturn return?
Saturn return.
There's been so many versions of you, so I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
So at 25.
I think I got divorced at 25.
Such a young accomplishment.
Maybe it was 26.
I feel like that's accomplishment. You're young.
Yeah,
You're
I've already done it.
I've lived it. Yeah, it's done.
I already did that. Anyway.
So the chop, how soon after, like, kind of all the chaos and the getting the backlash and the people questioning you, like, how long after did the haircut come?
I moved to Nashville in October of 2021, and then by September of 2022, I chopped my hair. So I had almost a year of living on my own, and then I just felt like I had more personality than what my look was portraying, and I felt like a lot of people, I felt like girls weren't as like cool and chill and nice with me because I just had too pretty of a vibe going on. And I don't know I don't think that I looked mean or bitchy, but I don't know, maybe I did. I don't know.
No, you didn't.
Okay, thank you.
You looked like a wholesome Christian girl with long blonde hair.
And maybe that was appalling to people. And then I felt like guys, I was too approachable to like any type of guy, and I would get just like really basic dudes that were just always drunk with like backwards hats and like polos talking to me, and I just hate that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't look as interesting as I feel.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be treated different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also had started listening to like more music. Like I started to really get into Blondie and really get into Joan Jett and like more rock and like going through 90s rock and stuff and like Stevie Nicks and not just listening to pop and Christian music.
Right.
And so I was trying to like catch up on years and years of knowing absolutely nothing that had happened in music, and also find like what kind of music do I like what do I want to make, and who am I now, what's going on. And so I think all of that really, I was like, I'm cutting my hair and I'm putting different music out, and it's gonna be a whole vibe, and I'm gonna go crazy because I feel crazy.
Okay. And then you acted on it.
Oh, totally.
And what did that do for you?
It was awesome. I had the best time. And I didn't care at all. I was like, I don't care if anyone thinks what I'm doing is cringy or stupid or childish or, oh, she's really going through something. I was like, I am, and I am going to have fun, and I don't care.
Yeah.
And I had no regrets, like, the whole time.
So it's like you went from caring so much about being, like, a certain type of person and also how you're seen to just not even giving a single fuck. No fucks given.
No.
Was it a switch?
I think so.
It was just a switch.
Probably. And I also didn't drink at all when I was married or anything. And I think I also didn't have any money. And somehow, by the grace of God, I decided to get divorced and had money all of a sudden. Like, just a few things fell into line. Like, the first audition I ever did, I booked it and, like, paid for my next 2 years of life. And,
amazing.
Like, a pub deal.
It was a Mercedes commercial, wasn't it?
Yes. Mercedes Sprinter vans.
Wait, so I'm sorry, but why is it that the moment that you cut out the toxic in your life, the moment you make the hardest decision you've ever made, is the moment things fall right in line and you get the blessing? I'm telling you, the universe rewards big action. It's like life loves that shit.
Yes.
Life's like, do it again.
Yes. And life gives you the same, like, lessons to learn. I feel like we've talked about this so many times. You have to keep learning the lesson.
Yeah.
Like, or experiencing it until you learn from it.
Yep.
And you totally get rewarded when you do it. But you have to, like, do the scary thing.
You have to do the scary thing.
It's never like, here's the easy way.
No.
It's like, there's no easy way. Like,
no.
You just have to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. 100%. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's why I love intuition and, like, gut feelings now. And, like, okay.
How does your intuition come through you now? And, like, did you even know what intuition was back then?
No, because I feel like a lot of it was like my mom's voice in my head and, like, the Bible and church people and church lingo. Like, that's what would come through me first.
Yeah.
So how does my intuition come through to me now? It's really, I feel like it's just a really strong, like, feeling and, like, voice. It feels like my own voice in my head, or like my higher self, or something, like an older, more experienced version of me. What I learned is that, you probably know this, but it's like our deep, like, feelings and experiences are, like, stored in our gut.
Oh,
literally,
yeah.
like those, I don't know what they are, hormones or something that I don't understand.
Your gut is literally your second brain, your microbiome.
Yeah.
Like, they've said, like, I mean, I don't know the exact details. We can look it up if you want.
That's where I'm confused.
But yeah, no, it's like
these little things.
It's like your brain,
little bubbles in your body.
Which, if you kind of look at, like, a picture of a stomach, it sounds so stupid, but if you see a picture of a stomach, it kind of looks like a brain.
It does.
Just like.
Just, like, in the shape of a stomach.
Yeah.
So, like, things you don't remember, but experiences that you've had.
Yeah.
Like, they're there. So when you have a feeling of, like, I shouldn't do this, or I should do this, or I should go talk to that person, like, it's because you've had an experience that's, like, leading you to make a better decision now.
Yeah.
So that's, like, how it's supposed to work, like, in your body. But it feels, I think you have to practice. You have to be pretty practiced in it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't get it right all the time. Sure.
I think it's like, you begin to trust yourself more.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh wow, that really worked. Like, I should listen to myself more often.
I have to talk to myself so much like that at this point. And I'm like,
well, it's like it's almost like you're literally getting to know yourself a little bit later in life.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what's interesting is that you experienced very adult things young, like things that most marriages they don't experience till later. You know what I mean? It's like you went through that whole thing like before you even knew yourself. So it's interesting. It's like it's not like you're playing catch up because you don't have anything to catch up with. You're kind of just like, I'm here. I'm living now.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like you're for the first time like you're able to like really use your voice and like say what you think. And I'm sure a lot of people felt like you were spinning out of control, like when you had all your hair, all these different colors, and you're releasing this punk music, and you're single now, and da-da-da-da, right? But it actually feels like you are very much in control of this whole experience, and it feels like you're very much in control right now of, like, the type of music you put out. Like, there's intention behind it.
There's always intention, yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell me about that? Like, what's your intention with your music in your life right now?
My intention with music Well, life right now and music, I don't know how to, I have so many thoughts because I feel like I'm still changing every few months.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get really, like, really know myself and still be really okay with changing.
Yeah.
And each project of music, like, at least right now, I'm totally excited about the idea of having each project, each album or whatever, like, being its own experience and being its own, like, main, like, story that I'm telling or vibe that I'm telling, and, like, just portion of life experiences that I've lived, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Their own little worlds. And, like, Bad Dream is coming out still right now. Like, I've put each single out almost. I've got one more coming out and then a bonus one when that whole album, like, drops. And that's something that, like, I wrote some of those songs 3 years ago when I was still married. But, like, my gut or my intuition or my higher self was like, this is not going, like, I already knew it wasn't going to last. Like, I just knew. So, like, I wrote In the Dark and Work It Out. And this bonus song that's coming out.
I love Work It Out.
I love that one. I wrote that in 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. Early 2020. I didn't get divorced until 2021, the summer of 2021.
Wow.
It's like so many things
you
I
already
knew.
You like knew you wanted to go.
I just knew it wasn't, I don't know. I just knew it wasn't going to last.
Wow.
Or something. But I wasn't living that.
Yeah.
But that's what was coming out of, like, my subconscious. You know what I mean? Like, while I'm working on music and creating, like, my body knew.
Yeah.
Even if my head hadn't totally caught up or whatever, like, I knew. So, my intention with life and with music is just to keep doing that. Like, keep storytelling and keep, like, having a vibe. And
my vibe right now is just to be living.
And my vibe right now is to live. Wait, what's the...
It's Courtney Kardashian. She's like, my vibe right now is really just living life.
Yes. Yes.
We need to be on yachts. But isn't it something like that?
I don't know, but I love it.
It's so good.
Courtney has the best.
She's my favorite.
Quotes. She's my favorite too.
Actually, Khloe's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Kardashians.
I love them all so much.
Me too. I bet they would have a lot to say about all of this.
Have been rewatching, like, all of the Kardashians, like the new seasons. I just have them on in the background all the time. Literally all of them. I've watched all of them like 3 times.
Me too. I don't care. I want to hear it again.
I feel so comforted just having them on my TV while I'm doing stuff.
Oh my God. No, they're
my best friends.
They're best friends. And also it feels like it kind of increases my wealth consciousness a little bit. Like, I'm like,
right.
Yeah, let's take the jet to Vegas.
I get that.
Like, I'm so excited for us to do that for when we're literally going to watch you on tour or something. Like, it's going to be insane.
Yes.
It's going to be so I'm so proud of you because you really are such a rock star and your work speaks for itself. And I just think it's so amazing. And it's beautiful that you have come out on the other side of all of this. What's been the biggest surprise for you in all of this?
I think it's, like, surprising how much I feel like when I look back, I'm surprised at how much I can handle and overcome and change.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised by how much I can take care of myself when that was definitely not, like, a main theme of my life growing up. It was very much like, be presentable and be a lady and be kind and find a husband one day, and, like, it was always meet the standard and get the thing and then be okay. It wasn't like, well, what do you want to do? I mean, when I went to college, like, I did get asked, like, what do you want to do? And then I was met with, like, but you have a face for TV, because I was like, I want to go to art. I want to be an art teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I was already told, like, don't major in music, don't do music, but you have to go to college. So, like, music wasn't an option. I was just like, oh, well, I'm not doing that. I won't make any money.
Oh my
God. I won't make any money. I'll have to be a music teacher and whatever. And
which your mom was a music teacher.
Yeah, she still is.
So
she makes money.
So there you go. Okay.
So yeah. So she was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I am glad I didn't go major in music. I'm glad I got did other things and, like, learned how to edit video and, like, take photos and do graphic design. Like, I had art classes. Thank God I found a way to, like, have an art minor.
Yeah.
But I've always been told, like, you won't make any money doing that. What's your plan B? And like, well, we're just praying that you find a good man.
Wow.
And it was not like, wasn't ill intention.
No, but how do you feel about that
normal.
now?
I'm pissed off now.
Yeah.
And I've told my whole family that, and we're all really good now. Like, I've literally said every single thing to my parents, and they are like so supportive now and so like on the same page with me, and just like having a good relationship with me, and like just really making me feel really safe, where for a while I was really like pushing away from them and like everything. And now it's like, because I was able to be honest and know myself and go to therapy. Therapy's important.
Therapy's so important. Oh my God.
And then now we have like a really good relationship that I'm really grateful for. But I wasn't raised to just take care of myself. So I'm surprised now that how much I've been able to just do on my own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we do like a little like fun thing with like hot or not?
Okay.
Okay. So I want to know like what you're into now. Is the type of guy that you would date now, or life that you would want now, like drastically different than what you've wanted in the past?
Oh God, that's a good question. Probably. I've always been so obsessed with boys. And I still am. Like, I don't know how to stop. It's an issue.
Okay, obsessed with boys. What do you mean?
Why.
So, because after you split with your ex, you went right into a situationship.
Like literally like 5 situationships.
Yes. Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Literally the whole time.
So do you like this? Do you like the toxic?
I guess. There's something that like, no, I don't like the toxic, obviously, but I've just been trying to figure out what my problem is.
What do you think your problem is?
I think that I'm just this like little like hopeless romantic forbidden love like Twilight kid that's like, if he's bad and quiet and weird and like up, like that's the one for me.
There's something in there. That's the one for me.
I'm gonna bring out his personality, or like,
okay,
I don't know, it's just like,
okay,
it's whiplash is what it is.
How so?
I don't know, I just feel like I give myself whiplash and other people.
Oh.
I'm just like,
it's fun.
I can't decide anything.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fun.
So you feel like you're into something and then all of a sudden you're like, no, and then it's whiplash? Or are you or are you saying the people in your life who are looking at you are getting whiplash because you're like, guy over here, guy over here, guy over here? Is that it? Oh no.
Yeah, probably both.
Oh no.
Okay, like there is a recent situation where like I totally was like, I'm gonna stay away from this person because they're like probably crazy. They're going through it. Like, I'm mature now and like been there, done that. I'm just gonna be their friend. Okay, this is how I went in with it. And then they were like, I've been to therapy and I've done all this stuff. Like, sounded so mature because like they were doing, I don't know, I won't like, speak for them.
Okay,
but I was like, oh my God, they're perfect. I'm like, this is the man I've been waiting for.
So like, therapy is hot. Yes, it's healed men are hot. Oh no.
Well, that's what I thought was happening. So then I was like, I went from 0 to 100 on it. Okay, this is a whiplash I'm talking about. Okay, like, sorry.
Kesley whiplash.
And then, and then I was like out of control. Like, I was out of control for like 2 days at least, where I was like, this is it. And I end up like at his place and I'm like so happy. And he's like, I don't want to lead you on. And then I was like, I'm an idiot. Where have I been? And like I came back into my body and I'm like, how did I lose control? Like, who am I? And then I was pissed off and was like, I'm not doing this. Like, what was I thinking? That was all fake. I'm a delusional person for thinking that like he was into me. Well, he did some things that clearly very confusing.
Expressed he was
very
into
confusing.
you.
But see, like, why am I attracting like this weird like back and forth? Because then I was like, we're just friends. And the
when you
cycle
say we're
never
just friends,
ended.
The way you just said we're just friends actually scared me. We're just friends.
We're just friends. And then it was
I'm like, do you mean that or do you want to kill him?
Yes. I like the whole cycle again.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, I don't want to see you or speak to you. You're
Ever
not allowed to talk to me.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Well, I think that's very normal for you to be into somebody and they're not into you, and then you're like, fuck you.
Why are we, I'm sure I'm not alone. Have you ever been just into somebody who's not into you, and it's because they're not into you, you're like,
I have to have them. Yes, of course.
It's so annoying. So we would just do that to each other, because then I would just be like, well, I'm going to test this theory and like flirt with someone in front of him, and then I'd get attention. And then I'd be like, oh, you're giving me attention, I can trust you. And then I would like do something that was like vulnerable, and he was like, that is too much. I have boundaries. Like, like, wow. You need to chill out. You need help. Let me help you. I'm like, oh yeah, I do need your help. And then it's like fucking weird.
Wow.
And that's one example.
Okay.
Of like this thing that keeps happening.
Okay. What else keeps happening? I'm so interested. This is amazing, dude. Do you have any marriage advice for me, by the way?
No, I have no advice. That's what I'm trying to say.
I can't breathe.
I'm still like learning.
I have no advice.
I've literally no advice. I'm learning who I am. I don't understand relationships yet. Yeah. Have not gotten to that point.
Yeah.
I'm literally, it's been a week.
Are you like, what's the point of a relationship? Or is it like you don't know your role? What were you just about to say? It's been a week. What?
It's basically what you're asking me. It's like, I don't know. Because I feel like this is the most truly single that I've actually, this is like the most truly single I've actually been this whole time. And, sorry. And, I don't know. Every other day I'm like, I think I'm ready for like a boyfriend.
Wait, but you've been single for a week?
No, I've been single for a little while.
How long?
Like a month.
Okay. Okay. And I'm ready for a boyfriend.
And I'm
well,
like,
maybe what you're ready for is like something deeper.
A real healthy actual relationship.
Healthy relationship. I think that's
I've
fine.
not experienced a healthy relationship yet.
Because have these been like committed things that we've been like partaking in? Or?
Everything I skirted around commitment at all costs.
Yeah.
For the first year, 2 years.
Great.
Pretty much. And then I actually like had someone who I called my boyfriend for a month.
Yeah, but he was cute.
I don't know if you're thinking of the right person.
Was he not?
No, he was, but like I don't remember telling you about him, so I don't think.
Was this the guy that worked with on the thing?
No. No. But my boyfriend was cute. My now ex-boyfriend, he's cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. Musician, hot or not?
Hot for sure.
Okay. But
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Okay.
Not a good idea, but hot, definitely. Is that what am I doing the game right?
I guess
supposed to be like,
I don't have any rules.
Hot,
I'm just trying to know what
like hot because that's hot, or
like hot. We should
hot,
know,
like I'm on it. Like yes,
hot like you're on it. Yeah, but also like that's hot too. And then we can also talk about why not.
Yeah,
why not? Why not? Musician.
Because like genuinely, if they're like us, you want to be with someone who's successful, and. If they're a successful musician, they don't have time for you.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If so a successful musician wouldn't have time for you is what you just said.
No.
So
and also as an artist, like the creative, like, I don't know, it's too much for me. Like you're doing your process, I'm doing mine. Like you have to have, I don't know. It doesn't work.
Okay.
Right.
Love or it's so f***ed up that I'm asking or like love, like this is your soulmate and you love them, or successful and like very stable and like self, like I don't know, like independent, I guess I should say.
Okay, yeah. Oh God, but then is there no love? Like there has to be love. I'm definitely like a love person. But I also thought that that's what I was doing. So maybe I'm wrong. I think there's something about love and soulmate. Like, what's real? I want to know what's real, you know?
Right. But it's like,
but love and soulmate sounds so good.
Love and soulmate, obviously, all day long. Like, we say go
like,
for that.
I want to be with a badass.
But, like, yeah, you want to be with somebody who's successful, who can take care of themselves. It's obviously
like,
a big lesson from your first relationship. That is hot.
It's very hot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be with someone who's, like, a stone person. Like there needs to be depth. Like there needs to be love. Like,
So
how can you separate the two? I want it all.
Right. Yes. You can have it all.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Same age difference.
Age difference.
Higher or lower?
Higher
Higher
than me.
Okay.
At least like I'm 28 right now.
Yeah.
So like, you know, at least in your 30s.
Yeah.
I'm like 30s.
Yeah.
I think. That's reasonable. That's completely reasonable.
No, it's totally reasonable. He won't be your dad.
But just because they're in their 30s doesn't actually mean anything.
No, it means nothing. It means nothing.
Unfortunately.
I mean, maybe they've been through some things, I guess.
They've lived longer.
Hopefully
that
they're
you
just
can
like
guarantee.
paying for their own like toilet paper.
Yeah.
My whole thing is like if your parents still buy your toilet paper and like pay for things for you, I'm just like
I literally since my that is fucked up.
Yeah. I'm like, unless you pay for the toilet paper that wipes your I'm sorry guys, your own ass, I don't want you coming near me.
Yeah, that's like a given.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah, I had one guy I had a few that were like weird stuff with their moms, like always like, well, I gotta call my mom and I gotta ask for this or I gotta do like just weird things like that.
Red flag. Like, ooh, what are some red flags that you've experienced in your explorations?
If you need anyone in your family to like be the what's it called when you're gonna go get an apartment and like you need someone to sign for it, like a co-signer. What about that? Why are we even considering that?
Yeah,
like,
if he needs a co-signer, red flag.
Yes.
Red flag.
What is going on?
Agreed.
And
yeah,
in general, whatever. But like, if you're trying to date me or you are dating me, that happens, and I don't speak to you again, like
that's why.
And then the other one is like, if they look at a bill or something and they're just like, oh. And they're like, oh, how much should I tip? Because, like, this is a lot. Or they're like, next day, like, don't expect that every time.
Oh, red flag.
Or like, oh, you aren't cheap, are ya? Or something.
Yeah, what?
What's wrong with people?
What is wrong?
I'm like, oh my God, you're so hot. Yes. Like, let's go out again.
And then you never talk to them again?
Pisses me off. I also, like, I'm not that bougie or anything. Like, I'm not, like, expecting, like, spend all your hard-earned money on me.
But it's nice.
Yeah, definitely don't be like, yeah, that was fun. Don't expect that every time.
Yeah, what? Oh, hell no.
I can't.
That's such a no.
I don't understand. Side note, I'm so happy for you that you're engaged and you're getting married.
Thank you.
I do believe in marriage. I think marriage is great.
Okay, give me marriage wisdom. I don't know if I can take any, but
you've definitely, like, you know your partner. So, and you guys work really well together. You've been through a lot of life together.
Yeah. I think that's a thing. I think you have to go through hard things together. And if you make it out of the hard things together, you should be good. Like, I actually think that if you are in a relationship and you're feeling bad about your relationship because you're going through the hard thing, I wouldn't even worry about that. I would just worry about, like, how you communicate with each other and how you get through it. You know, someone, like, recently told me, when you get married, like, you're signing up to do your worst days of your life with that person.
Right.
And nobody thinks about that. Everyone's like, oh, it's Cinderella, and, like, I'm, you know, marrying my best friend, woo! And, like, on the worst day of my life, like, it didn't matter that I was marrying my best friend, you know? It's like, I'm going through the worst day of my life.
Right.
And
I have interesting thoughts.
Please,
I have new thoughts on that.
Share.
Because, like, the whole, like, you're signing up to go through your worst days with this person. Like, yes, like, being married and, like, doing life together, like, that's very vulnerable. You're, like, really in each other's shit. But I've seen in my own life and, like, some of my other close friends where we, like, do this thing with our partner almost early on, too. Like, you think about dating somebody, like, for a year versus, like, friends you've had in your life for 10, 20 years. Like, totally different thing. And you'll be so vulnerable and, like, have these high expectations of them and fall apart. You're, like, more easily letting yourself fall apart.
Oh, wow.
When you're like, you're supposed to, like, go through the worst days with me, right? Like, you're supposed to And maybe that's probably just like an unhealthy, or like when you're in an unhealthy place to be and you're codependent, that's like a codependent thing to do.
Yeah, totally.
Where you're just like, help me, fix it, like hold me, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then why would you go into something, like even a conversation with that person with that kind of like, I'm just going to fall apart here and like expect them to like pick up the pieces, when like I would go into a conversation with one of my best friends who I've had for 20 years and I would still be a little more like of a rock for that. And I love that person and they've seen so much of me. Like, why do I go into this male female dynamic? For me, it's like, why would I go into that and just like fall apart all the time and expect so much for them to like do for me?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's so true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just speaking about that logically, it's like logically that makes sense, Kesley. It's like, yeah, why do we do that?
Right.
But it's like, you're so right. When you're in the relationship, it's like, I don't know if it's like a Cinderella theory thing or whatever, where like women need to be saved, damsel in distress thing. But like, it wasn't even when I was going through those hard times that I needed him to save me either, because what I needed from my partner in those days was for him to be okay with me not being okay. Right. Was for him to not judge me for not getting up some days. You know what I mean? Like, for
when
very
you're
basic
living
things.
with someone,
For him to tolerate me when I'm at my worst and like when I'm reactive and all of that, like that I think because we got through like a parent death and like my dad's cancer and everything together, and then there were so many other things that were also happening, but that was just such a big one. I don't know. I kind of feel like we can kind of handle almost anything. Like, besides death, most things are fixable.
Right. I think when you can go through that much with someone, that's how you know. And like, there's no rush ever with a relationship. And I feel like if you're starting a relationship with someone that's like really intense and like feels like the beginning of your life and the end of the world at the same time, like, you probably get out.
Yeah. You're right.
Because it's not real.
That's a red flag for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, going through real life and being able to like get through it. That is, I would rather date somebody for years and then get married than pull the trigger on getting married like way too soon.
Yeah.
Like, prove yourself to me before I just dedicate my whole life to this.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this is.
Right. What is this?
So I think there's like misconceptions there.
Did you think that we would be here in 2024, like sitting in this podcast studio having a conversation?
It's an amazing studio.
I know. Remember when we literally would meet in our car and we would use our laptop and we would just
recorded on my phone a few times.
We just recorded on your phone.
Yep. We were in some really interesting situations at that time.
And now here we are, just like two very evolved women. You're divorced. I'm getting married. Like, we're both boss babes chasing our dreams still. Still chasing the dream. If anything is still consistent. Can you imagine if you hadn't been? What would you say to Kesley like 4 years ago?
Okay.
Who's just wondering, like, how's this all going to go?
I, by no means do I feel like I've arrived at any like conclusion with my life. Like, I'm very much still on the like figuring it out. And I guess I would tell her like, just like, don't be scared. Don't have anxiety around every little thing. No rush. Like, go at your own pace. But I would totally be like, you're fucking hot.
Yes.
Like, you're hilarious.
You are.
You can do anything. Like, just go and do it. Like, the world is here for you. Life is here for you. Like, go live it. And don't wait on anyone to tell you you can. Tell yourself you can and believe it, no matter how many times you have to do it. Do not wait around for someone else to be like, here's the bar. If you already know, like, just go ahead and just fucking raise the bar for yourself and like, go do it. Go surprise yourself. You don't need anyone else's validation. that's the biggest thing, I think, for me right now.
Oh my God, that is so good. Yes, snaps. Yes, snaps. I love it. We could talk forever and ever and ever.
We'll just have to do another episode.
I would love to do another.
I'm working on new music right now.
Oh yeah, tell us about some new, like what's next for you? What's new for you?
I'm literally here working on stuff. So I just started getting like the visions yesterday where I'm like, oh, this would be cool if this is where we go with it. So that's cool. And Bad Dream is going to be out, and I'm excited to see how my live shows evolve, and like I'm trying to manifest big stuff.
You are really manifesting big stuff.
Yeah.
You are.
I am.
Yeah, I am. It's done. You already are. You manifested it.
It's going to be crazy.
What's something you're manifesting so that we can say you manifested it here on Power Femme first?
This is my last year in my apartment, and I'm going to buy something.
Yes. And you're going to have a studio in your house?
Probably. Just like a little home one.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah. Like it will be one of those things like where I'm looking back and I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like so many things, like places that I go to all the time, or like rooms I step in, or groups of people that I'm around. Like I keep getting this weird like little voice that goes like through my head that's like, this isn't going to last. So I just feel like everything's going to change really soon, which does make me scared. It's not like I'm like, yay. Yeah. Like I better be ready. Yeah. It's going to be harder.
Well, you're in your Saturn return.
Yeah.
So we'll talk when your Saturn has returned.
Perfect.
We'll talk when she has returned. Kesley, I love you so much. I'm so proud of the woman that you are and who you are becoming. And I can't wait to meet who you end up becoming. And you inspire me. So I think it's so cool that you were able to just start fresh and give yourself a new take on life, and the art that you have created as a result of that, living so boldly and just intentionally, is phenomenal. And I know it's going to be a huge success. And here we freaking are, living the life we said we would.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Love you.
I love you.